everyone going this fine morning? Excellent.
Yes.
If you're not sure who I am, I'm Hamish Keddie. I'll be the director of Neighbourhood Watch, which is an Australian play. It's fantastic to dive into a really gritty Australian play. My assistant director can't make it, Stuart Simons. It'll be his first time learning the ropes of assistant director because he wants to direct one day, and he thought, why not ask me? So that's really exciting for him. Yeah, he's down in Sydney. I'm really excited about this because it's on the HSC drama list. Now, it's called Contemporary Australian Theatre Practice. It's a very long word, but when you do HSC drama, so I've taught this, I think, 6-7 years. It's still on the list, so regional, they learn it, and so does McKillop, and I'm not sure about SCAS.
They do.
They do? Okay, awesome. And they probably do it like I did because it's really gritty, interesting, and kids can get into it. And what they've got to do, this is just giving you a little bit of background, it's called exponential theater. They've got to have some type of theatrical experience because they end up doing a scene from this. And if they can actually see the play, it's fantastic because they can take notes and they embed it into their essay. So what I'm going to be doing on the Saturdays, we have matinees. We're not going to have an evening show, we'll have matinees. And in the matinees we'll have a Q&A. So that if the schools come, or anyone comes, you can, when the actors come back on stage, I'll go on stage, the production team, and you can ask any questions that you would like and you're curious about. So a nice interactive thing. I've done it before, and that is very successful, and it's really cool to do it that way because it gives the performers a real buzz because you know, they're talking about their craft and what we put on stage, and hopefully they like it. Yeah, so you're in the information pack that you should have here, or sheet. You can see that it's on at the end of February, the beginning of March. That's a really good time to put something on. I haven't put something on at that period of time, so I'm really excited. So I'll be the first cab off the rank for the Players Theatre. There are the performances there. I don't really need to read them out, but like I said, there'll be matinees and a Q&A. So the rehearsals will be Monday and Wednesday nights, and we're going to start from the 10th of November because I have to take into effect of just juggling a few things with Billy Elliot and things like that. But we will, if you're cast, we will have a play reading at my place on the 1st of November. So the auditions are in 2 weeks from now here. You can book online 9:30, and obviously it's free to audition. You will have to be a member of the Players Theatre. Now about the play, some of you might not know it, but a little bit of a background on this. Lally Katz, she's written quite a lot of Australian plays. She's living over in Los Angeles at the moment, and she's very, very happy that I'm putting this on because Neighbourhood Watch hasn't actually been put on since 2016, and that was at the Bondi Pavilion. So I'm quite excited that I get the opportunity to do this. So she's looking to see pictures and maybe some little small vignette and videos. So I'll send it to her and see what she thinks. So she's happy to interact, she said to me. So that's really exciting to have that interaction with the playwright. There is talks that this is going to be made into a movie, but I'm not quite sure how far along that is. So we'll see. Yeah, so she met Robin Nevin, the Australian actor, at Belvoir. She went up to her and she said, "I'd like to write a play for you." And Robin Nevin basically said, "Okay." And she said, what do you want it to be about? And Robin Nevin looked at her and says, "Tough and funny," and walked off. So she went, "Oh, okay." And lo and behold, where she was living in Kew in Melbourne, in her street, I'll actually just read this out to you. One morning, I went out on the street to see if the world looked more hopeful. And I was in my pajamas. I heard a voice across the road. "You girl, come to my gate." And there was Anna, pronounced Achna. Within moments, she was telling me in her deep Hungarian accent about her story, and I thought to myself, tough and funny. The next 2 years I spent constantly with Anna, often 7 days a week, all day into the night. We'd talk, we'd have coffee, we'd share everything together. She showed me her memories and her world that she's experienced. I asked her advice on men. She weighed me. I washed her dog. We went on errands together. We talked constantly on the phone. Anna's world became bigger than my whole world entirely. Her memories became more real than to me in my present day. But through it, she led me to become the adult woman that I was meant to be. During these 2 years, I didn't see or speak to Robin Nevin, but she was on my mind constantly. And I finally met with her at Belvoir, and through B-Sharp Creative Development Program, they commissioned me to write the first draft of this play. And I was very excited to get feedback from Robin, and which turned into this play. It had, initially when it was first on, it had different characters. So we've got the latest revised edition, which is what HSC drama students do. So, about the play, it's 2007. Kevin Rudd has just been elected Prime Minister. The world feels ripe for change. On a leafy suburban street, unlikely neighbors meet. When God said, "Thou shalt love thy neighbor," he obviously hadn't reckoned on Anna, a battle-hardened Hungarian World War II survivor whose bark was as ferocious as her German shepherd. Her German shepherd's called Bella, so during the play she keeps yelling out, "Bella! Bella!" You know, things like this. Catherine is Anna's neighbor. 20-something, struggling actor. She's nervous and curious, yet distantly hopeful that a better world is on its way. In the meantime, watching episodes of The West Wing with her housemate, Ken. The West Wing was a fantastically written political drama. It was on for 7 years, and Ken is writing a movie script, and he plays the World of Warcraft. So he's into the World of Warcraft, and he's always writing this play script, and he actually is secretly in love with Catherine, which you find out later. When these two lost souls find each other in Mary Street, they spark up a friendship that transcends generations and cultures. They both try to navigate the struggles of finding your way in contemporary Australia, and from each other, Anna and Catherine forge an alliance that carries them to war-torn Hungary and back again. And they help one another to reconcile the past and find ways to move forward. Can their unlikely friendship outlive the colossal forces of history, the inevitable of death, and a trip to the mall to see Mamma Mia? A staple on the New South Wales HSC drama list, Neighbourhood Watch is a humorous, heartwarming, and at times devastating Australian story of hope, grief, survival, friendship that will appeal to audiences of all ages. And I direct this play. It's about 120 minutes. There's a lot of layering and symbolism in this play. Everything it has a purpose in this play, and there's lots of characters as well. So, I'll explain that later. So, what's going to be happening is going to be a lot of responsibility for the actors to be in charge of different props and very quick transitions into other characters. So it's going to be a lot of lighting. I'm going to have a fixed backdrop, like something, like that, to look like it's suburban. The actors will be able to interact with it, but it'll mainly just be lighting, and I'm using a lot of special effects and sound as well. So it's so my directorial vision, there are 5 main key characters, and our production, even though it was set in Melbourne, it'll be set in Sydney. That doesn't really matter, it's just set in the suburbs. Like I said, I'll be using a great deal of lighting, key props, and tight transitions, which I like anyway. The play has many locations: outside on the street, Anna's house, Catherine and Ken's house, the doctor's surgery, the chemist, the cinema, back to the past, war, Hungary. And this is a challenge. Yeah. So what you find out, which is a bit of a spoiler alert, Anna is sick. She's got advanced cancer. And she doesn't tell Catherine that. And Catherine finds out in a very interesting way. And it's after, actually, they sort of break up, they have a big fight. So you can see with the character descriptions, which are on that page, the principal roles are Anna, Catherine, Ken, Martin, and Arthur. He's a serial killer. Yes. Now you probably think, who is Martin? Now, Catherine's kind of obsessed with her mobile phone. She's always checking to see if there's a text message on here. And she keeps texting someone. And Ken knows that she's texting her dead ex-boyfriend. Ooh. Or her dead boyfriend. So you find out that he committed suicide. And she's grieving, and that's why she's not eating. So her attachment to Anna, she goes through all these stages of grief with Anna, and Anna helps heal her. She also meets Martin. So Martin's a real character in this, and they talk. They have they kiss. They sit and have a picnic together. It's all really very interesting. The audience doesn't learn that. It finds out very later on, and it's done in such a subtle way. So it'll be quite a reveal for the audience, where they'll go, "Oh my goodness, whoa!" And I'm going to do Martin to make him look like a ghost, but not really, very subtly with makeup. So, yeah, there is a scene where Anna. So I'm going to be casting a young Anna. So I will need a teenager, between sort of age of 15 to 18 or whatever. And it'll be a big part playing young Anna. But she tells the story where she's sort of groomed by her uncle. It's kind of creepy. And he turns out he's actually a serial killer. He tries to kill her. And we have to reenact that. So in Australia, we've got those main characters, Anna, Catherine, Ken, Martin. And then there's Katrina. She's lives across the street. She's a woman who, there's domestic violence going on in her household, which is not good, and Anna tries to help her. There's Jovanka. She's kind of a funny character. She's a Serbian woman who really wants to be friends with Anna, and Anna thinks she's basically a Nazi spy. Yeah, don't trust that Jovanka. I know, she has beady eyes. Jovanka finally, she asks Anna like hundreds of times, "Will you go and have coffee with me?" And Anna keeps saying no. And eventually they have coffee together. Nancy runs the Neighbourhood Watch. There is a meeting of Neighbourhood Watch in there, so that's where the name of the play comes from. She's a funny woman herself. There's Dr. Veit, a woman in her mid to late 40s. There's a chemist, there's a postman, a Neighbourhood Watch policeman who gives a speech. There's a woman with a small dog. There's a Coles delivery boy, a woman working at the cinema, and an ambulance officer. And Martin actually comes back as an ambulance officer in the end. It is a tragedy too. In Hungary, we've got Anna's father, Anna's mother, Anna's sister. There's a gypsy. So the gypsy sings in Hungarian, and it's an underscore in a particular scene, and then it then turns into English. There's a soldier. There's Arthur, a soldier in the infirmary hospital. There's a nurse in the infirmary. There's a Russian soldier. There's the soldier's mother, soldier's father, because Anna falls for the Russian soldier. That's her first kiss in love. mean girls at Anna's work, and a policeman in Hungary. So there's lots of characters. Anna's the 80-year-old Hungarian woman, and Catherine's name. We first meet her when she complains that Christina's tree drops its leaves into her yard. Anna is a strong, determined, courageous, and hardworking woman. She's had a hard life, losing her father, losing a husband, and a baby. And the way she loses the child is an incredibly tragic story, and she reenacts all that as well. And being imprisoned in Yugoslavia, so not the Serbia, Herzegovina that we know today, Croatia and stuff. So she was imprisoned in camps in Yugoslavia, Italy, and France, and then eventually, which is what a lot of the refugees did, it took a long time to come to Australia. Anna's caught up in the war, believing people are wasps and spies trying to attack her. Traumatized by her experience in prisoner of war camps, Anna is desperate to remain fiercely independent, as illustrated. Oh, I can change that. It's Dr. White. It used to be Dr. Williams. It was only changed recently. Suggests a move into a hospice. And Catherine does say to her, "You're still at war in your mind. You're still at war." I'll just jump to Catherine. She's a woman in her late 20s. She appears very fragile. We don't know why. We don't see that she's grieving, but there's everything evident there that she is. She's very disconnected with the world. That's why she's pretty much unemployed. Her lack of auditioning or going to a job interview, so she forgets. She'll have an interview with somebody and she forgets. She's like in a holding pattern in her life, perhaps fearful of failure. She has an obsessive compulsive issues. So when she wants to think and whatnot, she starts ironing, and she doesn't eat a lot, so Ken has a go at her often. Catherine finds Anna an unlikely companion. She finds herself engrossed by Anna's stories of Hungary and ends up helping Anna with her chores. It's obvious that Ken longs for Catherine, though she's caught up on Martin. And Ken knows that Martin's dead, and Ken knows that he's not coming back. So Ken is Catherine's housemate. He's in his early 30s. He can be in his late 20s, it's fine. He's a writer supposedly working on a film, but he spends the majority of his time playing the computer game World of Warcraft. He is diabetic. He ends up quite sick, and he has to go home to his parents to help sort his life out. He's attracted to Catherine, and he truly cares for her well-being, trying to help her find a job and observing her eating habits. They do have a falling out as well later on. Christina is Catherine and Anna's neighbor. She's in her 40s. She's she's a very interesting character, Katrina. She's paranoid about security and has cameras around. It is a duality with Christina, actually. There's Jovanka, the Serbian lady. She pops in and out of the play. I would say she's had a difficult life, and I think she wants to open up to Anna. Jovanka always trying to but Anna steadfastly refuses to answer her phone. And then we have Martin, the ex-boyfriend. We discover that 2 years earlier he committed suicide, leaving Catherine devastated and disconnected with the world. Catherine actually blames herself, which with a lot of suicide, that is the case. So her grieving is very deep. So basically, I'm looking for those roles, but if I can have someone who's roughly 30, 35 plus, they will play Jovanka, they'll play Nancy, they'll play Katrina, the Russian soldier's mother, Anna's mother, and Dr. Veit. Same with the other multiple roles, a man 35 plus or 38 plus onwards. There's the chemist, the Australian policeman, a Hungarian policeman, Anna's father, a Russian soldier's father, an ambulance officer. So they all have quite a bit of lines, but you would be jumping in and out of different characters quite a bit. A teenager to play an employee, a soldier dying, a delivery boy, a postman, a Russian soldier. Young Anna, I want to cast her. She most likely will play the gypsy. It just depends who auditions and what that. But that would be a significant role because there's that young Anna starts off at the very beginning of Act 2. Teenage girl will play a young woman with a dog, a receptionist, a woman in a cinema. But opportunity to juggle some of the other characters, depending again who auditions and whatnot. Audition requirements, it's all pretty self-explanatory there. I've got audition pieces at the back. If you've grabbed them, great. So there's an audition passage, and then you know cold reading. I usually like doing that. And if you can get an accent going, that would be fantastic. It is important in this play. A 10-minute audition slot, obviously a valid working with children's check. You have to commit to all performances. Any issues, you let me or the assistant director know. Contact details, of course, and then we get all the publicity and stuff like that. It's fantastic now that we have those posters. What are we calling them? They're on the core flutes. That's the word I couldn't think of. Core flutes. That's great. We're putting ourselves out there. Yeah, so you can, if you can't make it to audition, you can just record yourself and send it in to me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, I was going to mention my little notes here. So some of the key themes are isolation, war and the aftermath of war, really exploring friendships. And you'll find out with Anna as well, her husband, her second husband, I should say, Vladimir. She really loved him, and how he passed away, and how she had to look after him. It's really quite tragic. There is a lot of talk about refugee status in this, and imprisonment, and of course there's grief and talk of suicide in it. So there's some heavy-duty topics in here. It's really poignant and funny at times, but again, it's really tragic. The South Australian theatre, state theatre they call it, they did it just after Robin Niven first did it in 2012 with Miriam Marigolds, the UK actress. And I've got all the theatrical notes and all of Miriam's notes when she played a very different Anna than Robin Niven. So two real contrasts, actually. Robin Niven ended up reprising her role and doing it at the Melbourne Theatre Company. Yes, I think that's all I was going to say. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's the audition pieces here. Yeah, so any questions at all?
Yeah, if Anna has cancer, does she visibly display the sickness, or because if Katerina doesn't pick up?
Good question. Act 1, no, but in Act 2, yes. We'll see some little signs. It all comes to a head in the shopping center where Jovanka, Anna, and Catherine go see Mamma Mia. And yeah. Yes?
This is probably a silly question, but you can audition for multiple characters, right?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I love anybody wanting to have a crack at different things. Also, too, when you audition and I maybe see you more so as something else and it just fits in my head, I'll have a conversation with you and say, hey, what do you think about this? A great example, in Adam's family, well, I kind of, yeah, I had different ideas and then they just all fit together. It was really cool. But yeah, that's great. Yes?
Do you particularly want a difference between the Serbian and the Hungarian accents?
Yes.
Can you suggest a source where we can find those?
The great source is YouTube, basically. You'd be surprised if you typed in an example of Serbian accent and how many people
Yeah.
Just come up.
it comes up. There's
Bring Meryl Streep.
Thanks, Vicky, I'll do that.
You've got her number, I guess.
there's channels where you have people who actually will, they've got little tutorials in accents and things like that, which
It sounded like generic Eastern European wouldn't work for you.
no, your bank is gonna have just pronunciation, because with Anna, she calls Catherine Kitty Kitty, so there's a certain way to actually say that, not playfully. The way she says certain words, it's sometimes really dark and sarcastic, and there's a lot of rhythm to Anna's when she speaks. And she's direct, right in your face. She'll tell you straight up what she thinks. There's no monkeying around with her. Once the auditions start, we would have a break, obviously, over the Christmas period, which is natural to do so, and we would start our Sunday rehearsals probably beginning of January-ish.
18th.
18th, thank you, Paul. Yeah, and it's a great opportunity for some challenges in this one. Any other questions? Curiosities?
Sounds great.
Yes?
I'm curious about the transitions, because there's so many scenes that are happening sort of at the same time, but like different locations.
Yes.
Correctly, how is that going to? I
That-
was
that-
at the beginning, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, that's my challenge as a
Yeah.
director with the lighting. So whoever's up in the lighting box, we're gonna have to be very quick with different, and literally the actor will be coming on ready for that scene, and then the light will come up at that scene, and then we go move over. Yeah.
And will there be costume changes?
Yes.
Yeah, between any of those?
Yes. Yeah, productions that have been done, Belvoir did it, and they did it in a semi in the round, and they had an underscore throughout the whole thing. So they had someone on the piano, which was really interesting as well, and it was an original score. And it was just props and lighting. There was nothing at the back. The Bondi Pavilion one, I've seen all the photos of that. They had the facade of suburbia in the background, and then they had sort of like a scrim that would open and close very quickly. It was very weird how they did it. I didn't particularly like it, but it was different. It's just how you approach it. You couldn't do it with like a fixed box set or that kind of stuff. You couldn't do that. But yeah.
So the actors will need to move props themselves, you said?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a challenge for the backstage manager to make sure that where the props are in all the right spots. Like Ken, for example, he'll be on his laptop often, so it'll be somewhere very quickly, and whether he's got a stool. I mean, in one production he had a bean bag he was always on, so he just carried a bean bag and he was on his computer and he was talking. So, yeah, like that. So, yeah.
Sounds intriguing.
Yes, it is. I put this in because it is always really fun to be able to see, and it hasn't been done for ages, to have a play that's studied in the schools, and then for all the drama students, all the creative and performing arts students to come and see it and go, oh wow, cool, and have an opportunity to interact with the actors. It's great. I remember Lance doing with Popular Mechanics. It's great. I did it way back. I did Gary's house
Yes.
Like Deborah Oswald. And that was fantastic to do that. But yeah. So Anna does pass away at the end, so that is quite tragic. So if you're cast as Anna, you have to get ready for that build up to the end. Catherine does get closure with Martin as well, which is really quite lovely how that happens. And Ken and Catherine reconcile with each other, which is really cool. So the play actually comes full circle. So it goes from the beginning of the play, the first line is, "Happy Kevin 07, my friend," Ken says to Catherine. And Catherine says, "Happy Kevin 07. Right? And then right at the end, Ken goes, Catherine says, "Hey, isn't that the length of a West Wing episode?" Ken goes, "You've been paying attention." They walk outside, "Happy Obama, my friend." Catherine says, "Yeah, happy Obama." So Obama just got in, so the play goes over a year. And that was an exciting time for Obama to get into as president in the United States. So there was an interesting period how she set this in that particular time. So yeah, so looking forward to the auditions.
Yeah. Excellent.
That wants to be in this or didn't come, please let them know and get them to contact me. With the audition pieces, Anna's piece is, she's talking about Vladimir. We've got the audition piece for Catherine, so I'll have probably myself playing Martin. I picked that one because it's quite an interesting little passage. We've got, so if you're going to go for Martin, it's an interesting little piece as well. Another interaction. They have their own way of speaking to each other as well. Ken, this is a part where they start having, well, they have a fight. Yeah.
So what are the other roles like, Ken? Do you want an Australian accent?
Yes.
Hamish, do we actually see Martin kill anybody?
No. No, you'll see. He has an axe.
Oh, nice.
So I'll probably do it with spotlight and you'll just see the axe going. And he's screaming.
Blood spurting, yeah.
No, I had a hard time with Sweeney Todd with blood. That was enough for me. Yeah, so what role is this? The Man 35. That role, I just picked it because it's in Neighbourhood Watch and the policeman's talking and it's a bit of a monologue. But those are all the other parts. The Woman 35 is done, it's Katrina talking to Anna. And Teenage Girl, it's, she lifts the blanket, and she's talking to the soldiers. The soldier has had his legs blown off. But I'm just going to do it with a blanket, you know, I'm not going to CGI. Yeah, so young Anna is engaging there. A teenage girl to play a woman with a dog receptionist, the woman in the cinema. This is the woman in the cinema scene. Just to memorize that, yeah. And any questions, just email me. And I can certainly answer. Or if you have any questions when we finish, well, we'll finish now. You can come up to me and whatever and engage. Yes?
Is that going to be a dog? A real dog?
I've thought of that. that it was one in Legally Blonde. I was thinking maybe contacting the same person. It's a small scene. Like it's a funny little scene actually. The dog's like in her arms. You can have a face.
It's better if it's real.
Real animals don't act like you want them to. In TV and movies, you can easily edit.
Oh, good. Our dog would not work on the head.
We have a 10-month-old Staffy cross border collie, Ruby, currently chewing everything.
Oh, yes.
Chewed 3 of Kirsten's sandals, Kirsten's hat, 2 Cole's bags, bamboo.
And you throw out, don't throw out. That's a lie. Mine is fine.
We've had to